The largest private real estate development in U.S. history opened its doors here in New York on Friday. Hudson Yards on Manhattan's far west side is a commercial and residential wonderland featuring some of the city's tallest buildings and most expensive restaurants and condos. Some see the project as a welcome addition to the nation's largest city, but others think its exclusive offerings mean exclusion for too many. Tony Dokoupil is at the Hudson Yards. Tony, what can you tell us?
Well, good morning. I can tell you that we are a long way from the New York of subway rats and hot dog vendors, but let me give you a little tour around. That thing behind me, that's called the Vessel. It's basically a $150 million sculpture. Below me, there is a mall where there are about 5 places where you can buy a $1,000 watch. And if you actually want to live here, well, a penthouse will run you about $30 million. But here's the thing. Before you dismiss Hudson Yards as just a billionaire's playground, consider that for the East Coast and definitely for New York, it's also a kind of final frontier. Ambition is always limitless, but land like this is not.
You're looking at the largest private development project in American history, built on one of the rarest things in Midtown Manhattan, underdeveloped land.
So we're looking at 28 acres overall?
28 acres.
Bruce Beal is the president of Related Companies, a partner in the project known as Hudson Yards because of the vast rail yard still rumbling beneath us.
How do you build huge buildings on top of hollow tubes that trains go through?
Carefully. A lot of planning, great engineering. We had to put columns down and bring in steel and actually, create the platform.
That platform spans 4 city blocks above an active train operation that never shut down.
When we started this process, everyone's like, are you crazy? You're going to build over active trains? And the answer was, we're never going to stop the trains.
The site includes office, residential, and retail space, along with a public park.
Welcome to the neighborhood!
And it officially opened Friday after 6 years of development and more than a decade of dreaming by this man.
And it'll be a great urban space.
Stephen Ross, billionaire developer, detailed down to the roots.
Thank you.
I heard you drove around picking trees.
To me, everybody talks about ideas. And to be successful, you really got to be involved in the execution. And it's the details and putting the details together that makes great projects.
7 months ago, we suited up with safety gear and rode to the top of the project's tallest building.
It's a little nerve-wracking, I'll be honest.
With a view of the Empire State Building from above and the highest outdoor observation deck in the Western Hemisphere.
We're more than 100 floors up on a deck that will be 65 feet out. And if you're brave enough, when this is all done, that's going to be a glass floor with a view straight down.
The main attraction, however, is a lot closer to the ground. The Vessel is a $150 million set of staircases to nowhere. And yet,
I believe you said it's going to be what the Eiffel Tower is to Paris for New York.
I believe so.
You even said it was going to be bigger than the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center 365 days a year.
But that's what I really saw.
One more. You called it the future biggest tourist attraction in New York City.
I stand by all that.
Okay.
Stepping onto the Vessel is free to visitors.
People will come to see something like this. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
But living in New York's newest neighborhood starts at a reported $5,000 a month for a 1-bedroom.
Anytime you're building something new, it's probably going to be more expensive than something that's older.
At the moment, it's more expensive. You think it's going to come down over time?
Well, I think the market will reach it, and it will keep on growing higher and higher. That's what typically happens. You want to get in at the bottom. This is the bottom from what I believe Hudson Yards will be.
Yeah. The Pulitzer Prize-winning architecture critic at New York Magazine did not have kind things to say about Hudson Yards. He said, it is too clean, too flat, too art-directed. He called it a corporate city-state.
Well, he was all over the place with his.
Is he right? Is he right? Is it a corporate city-state?
No, it's not. I mean, first of all, you had a piece of land we're building over the railroads. So it wasn't the ability, there was nothing here. So it had to be all brand new.
Mm-hmm. The total cost of the project is expected to exceed $25 billion. But what's controversial is the additional $5.6 billion that reportedly came in the form of tax incentives and a new subway.
Amazon was given
about $3 billion in subsidies, and the pitchforks came out. What were you thinking watching that saga unfold with Amazon?
Well, they weren't getting the subsidy. They were really paying for something themselves. It was over a longer period of time. The city was certainly benefiting by the jobs, by the amount of revenues being created, and everything else.
Which is also true here, you think?
Absolutely. I mean, nobody wrote us a check or say, here's a subsidy, go build it. The reason we got the tax benefit, where here you're in the middle of nowhere, in essence, in the city of New York. You had to attract corporations to come here.
Yeah.
What we're receiving were really incentives to make sure it happened.
And Ross says the work that happened here could happen in any city.
I think creating these live, work, play kind of nodes or environments, this is where people want to be, and it can work everywhere.
And guys, as for whether it can work here, Stephen Ross, the developer, estimates that the city will get about $500 million in revenue a year and 50,000 jobs. As we said, this is now open, but open is relative. The vessel behind me, if you want to walk on it, fair warning, you're advised to make your reservation about 2 weeks in advance.
Let's start right. Why don't you give us a clue in, Tony? Write it down for us.
I will. You're on the list.
But going up that high that Tony was way up there, I couldn't do that. I mean, that glass floor terrifies me.
I'll do it. I'll do it for all of us.
I'll do it with
I'll
you.
take a picture.
I'll do it with you.